To Karen Kimbrough about it. She's the chief economist at LinkedIn. Karen, it's good to have you. So you have some data to back this up. What are you seeing in terms of people's willingness and desire to switch industries and start their own, I don't know if jobs is even the right word, but kind of do their own thing right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's good to be here. And what we are definitely seeing is that people are open to making a change. And that's not unusual during a time of upheaval. We've just had this huge pandemic, over 20 million jobs lost. So people are kind of rethinking their strategy. And what we're finding is that at least 51% of the members that we survey in the US are open to doing something on their own, either by setting up their own business or maybe switching to more of a freelance role. So that sort of appetite for change is definitely there. And if we dig into it a little further, what I tell you is that actually for women in particular industries, it's an even more strong desire maybe to strike out on their own path. If women in finance, design, entertainment, healthcare, they might be burnt out. They might be looking for just more opportunities. They're at an even higher percentage looking to make a change.
That absolutely doesn't surprise me. CNBC right now is running a whole feature on, I think they're calling it middle-aged millennials, or mid-career. But this whole idea, especially for women who are of childbearing age, that they want a job or something to do that fits with that flexibility. Maybe they're doing it out of home. They don't want to be gone for 12 hours a day. I can absolutely understand that driving this. So what do you think that means in terms of the way that we're likely to see careers unfold and new businesses unfold over the next couple of years? I'm thinking kind of about productivity in the country more broadly.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're definitely seeing that flexibility matters. When we look at members that we survey, we're finding out at LinkedIn that 50% of them said hours and location flexibility are among the most important factors for where they want to work. And these are for people who are already employed. So for people who are freelancing, they are more focused maybe on motivated by getting transferable skills. So it definitely matters where you are in the labor market in terms of what motivates you, but we're definitely seeing that women are pursuing entrepreneurship. There's a higher percentage of women who are striking out and building their own firm on our platform. By almost, I think it's a 2 percentage point increase in the number of women, in the share of women, that are, entrepreneurs on our platform, as opposed to just the pre-COVID time. So that's a pretty big jump.
Sure.
What I would say it means, though, to give you, a deeper thought on this is, I think it's a point in time where people are reevaluating what they really want to do. They're saying, what makes my heart sing? And I think it's forcing employers to kind of come back to the negotiating table and sort of really say, this is to the point that the gentleman from Chipotle was saying, this is what we can offer you over long term. This is your career path. People are looking for more than just, having to show up and be told when and where to show up. They're looking for opportunities to strike their own career path. One of the things that at LinkedIn we've really been encouraging is this idea of building your own skills so that people can build the skills towards the job that they want.
I think, to say that the pandemic has presented workers with a moment in time, I think is obviously an understatement. I mean, but there is before and then everything after, and that is a sharp break there. I've done a couple of events in recent weeks, including one that involved the chief people officer of Microsoft, where folks were predicting that as workers come back to work, expect massive turnover in the workplace, maybe as high as 30%. Are you anticipating that as companies bring people back, that the turnover rate is going to go way up? And do you have a number you'd apply to it?
So what I would say is we definitely think this is a moment that's ripe for change. This is, like you said, it's a moment. I won't put a number to it. But what I will tell you is I think when you have so many things going on at the same time, you have the administration that's pulling us in a direction towards more sustainable investments, more infrastructure building potentially. That's going to create a lot of energy and action and opportunity for people to say, where do I want to be in this world of work? And at the moment, the supply and demand factors are such that we are seeing a healthy growth in jobs. And so I think people who are looking for their next play are starting to be a little bit choosy. When we ask people, what's holding you back? Many people are actually saying, I'm not finding exactly the jobs that fit my criteria. That's a big change from 8 months ago. So I think people are being a little choosier as well.
Yeah, they're not giving me everything that I'd like to have. Yeah. So I'm going to move on. And I think employers can feel that as well.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.